So Japan has a new problem. Violence in public spaces, something that used to be extremely rare, is starting to show up in ways people generally don't expect. And you know what? For a long time, people thought that Japan's biggest issues were things like customer harassment.
だって店のもの投げたりとか、
そんな能書きをやられてんだよ。
いやいやいや、能書きとかじゃなくて、うちのスタッフに手出したりとか、ね、店のもの投げたりとか。いや、ビールは出せないっつっても、店終わりましたもん。
Chicano on trains.
入る時に女性のねお尻こうやって手の甲をずっと当てながら入ってった。見た。
But recently, something happened that shocked a lot of people because a Japanese politician was suddenly punched in the face at a public festival. And this happened in broad daylight. So what's the story about this? Well, it's actually a lot more complicated than it looks. Because Japan is often seen as one of the safest and most polite countries in the entire world. A place where political figures can walk freely without really any heavy security. Where public events are peaceful and where violence is extremely rare. And for the most part, this image is still true. But recently, there have been instances that really challenge this perception. And here's the thing. Over the past few years, Japan has been dealing with increased social tensions in certain areas, especially where different communities are interacting and living closely together. And the problems that are arising are cultural differences, language barriers, and economic pressure. And sometimes a lack of understanding on both sides. When those kinds of factors kind of build up and you have that increased tension, those can escalate into something much bigger. Because on March 22nd, 2026, at a Kurdish festival over in Saitama, there was a Kurdish festival being held at a local park. But there, something unexpected happened. Yusuke Kawai, a city council member, was suddenly approached during the event. And then, without warning, he was punched in the face. And this was hard enough to knock him to the ground. And why did this happen? Well, it was reportedly because he was wearing a Japanese flag. And if you think this is worth talking about, then please like this video to spread awareness. So here's the thing. This Japanese politician that was punched in the face, he had policemen surrounding him. It was in broad daylight. And it was at a cultural festival that was supposed to bring everyone closer together. And reports say that a Kurdish man approached Kawai. But what exactly was said leading up to this is kind of still unclear. But within moments, the situation escalated. Because this man struck Kawai directly in the face. And because of that, he fell to the ground, shocked about what just happened. And then the atmosphere of the entire event changed just like that, from celebration to chaos. And now on its own, this might sound like a single incident, kind of like a random altercation between two individuals. But the reason this gained attention is really because of what it represents. Because political figures, especially politicians, in Japan are rarely attacked like this. And cultural festivals promoting intercultural communication are generally usually peaceful. And incidences involving physical violence are pretty rare, which is why this stood out so much. And many people were really quick to point out that the reason he got hit was because he was taunting them by bringing a Japanese flag to the festival. But was getting hit justified for sharing his personal expression? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And here's the thing, situations like this are usually oversimplified. People jump to conclusions, they frame it as us versus them, but reality is rarely that simple because incidents like this don't come out of nowhere. They're a result of the tension that has been building up in the community. And after this incident, reactions were pretty immediate. Some people expressed concern about safety, especially what happened after the assassination of the former Prime Minister of Japan. While others are saying that since he knew of the tensions within that community, he basically intentionally baited them. So he got what he deserved. And others are saying that it was the absolute greatest performance since he was barely touched. Yet, he went down pretty hard. And many other people were just simply shocked that this happened in Japan at all. And for myself, this really isn't about one person hitting another person. It's kind of a sign of something deeper. And that's when frustration, misunderstanding, and tensions go unaddressed. They just don't disappear. They build slowly. And over time, they can come out in an unpredictable way. And when they do, it can happen anywhere, especially places where really you least expect it. But what makes this particular incident so concerning is how sudden it was. There wasn't a clear warning. It was just a single moment where everything changed. And that kind of unpredictability is what makes incidences like this pretty unsettling. And now, to be clear, Japan is still a safe country, and most public events are really peaceful, and nothing out of the ordinary happens at all. Like, nothing. But kind of in moments like this, they're kind of reminders that no place is completely free from conflict. And as Japan continues to change, with more international communities, more cultural exchange, and more diversity, there will naturally be challenges. And how those challenges are handled will shape what the future looks like. And if you think this is worth talking about, then please share this video. And for the politician himself, looks like Kawai will make a full recovery, but he is a politician known for pulling kind of publicity stunts like this. In fact, during his campaign period, he dressed up as the Joker.
世襲議員はマジでいらない。将来の総理候補、お坊ちゃんのしんちゃんは当たり前ポエムばかり言っています。そんな人には任せておけないだから、投票に行かないといけないんです。いいですか?
To bolster his own young followers. So really, he's not a stranger to drama. And this was definitely a calculated move on his part, solely meant to get a reaction. But what do you think of all of this though? Do you think even though he basically baited them, that he got what he deserved? Or do you think that as individuals living in Japan, we should be above physical violence in the face of a difference of opinion? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time everyone, stay waku waku. And if you're interested in topics like these and want to stay up to date on all things Japan, then please subscribe. And if you're interested in Japan, then you should probably learn some Japanese. So make sure you check out my free Japanese cheat sheet where I share with you the 5 simple but costly mistakes that the majority of people learning Japanese make and how you can avoid it. And you'll definitely want to check out this next video about what Japanese people really think of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, with everything that's going on right now, because it's not what you think.